Hi, Zach Reiser here, and welcome back to another bass effects review video. Today I'm going to be getting into the Red Muck from Jam Pedals. The Red Muck is inspired by the classic Big Muffs, specifically the Triangle and Civil War Big Muffs. Jam has specifically tuned this one to work incredibly well with bass. It's also one of the most controllable and musical muffs I've played through. So the controls on the Red Muck are relatively self-explanatory, pretty classic muff layout where you have volume, tone, and gain. However, there is a mix knob as well, so we can go fully dry, fully wet, or anywhere in between if you want that kind of dual dry distortion sound. And then also the tone knob is a little different than a classic muff circuit. It's not just a high-end roll-off. At the middle, it's basically flat. When you go to the right, you're actually rolling out a little bit of low end and increasing the high end. And when you go to the left, you're taking the high end off and actually boosting the low end. At least that's what it sounds like to my ears. The one other control here is this second foot switch, which essentially puts it into a high gain mode. So it's kind of a dual gain stage pedal in regards to that second foot switch. So let's jump right into this bad boy. This is my bass's dry tone Dingwall ABZ 6-string on the neck pickup. So first off, I am going to start fully wet, not going to touch the mix knob for a little bit here. I want to show off the gain range of the Red Muck. And now the gain range with the high gain mode engaged. So as you can hear, this thing goes from kind of like almost a little bit of hair on the lowest gain settings to all-out insane wall of fuzz. But for a muff, it's actually remarkably quiet even at those incredibly high gain stages. So a medium gainish setting here, and now I just want to show off the tone knob a little bit. So quick demo of that mix knob. I'm going to start fully wet and then slowly roll in a little bit more my dry signal. I'm going to play with a pick too so you can really hear those transients come through as the dry signal starts to come in. On the Red Muck, the mix is there if that is your thing, if you want a little bit of dry signal rolled in. Me personally, I almost never use mix knobs. I just like fuzzes to be kind of full bore. And on the Red Muck, the mix knob is not necessary in the sense of needing low end. There's tons of low end on tap with the fully wet signal. So let's get into some specific sounds on the Red Muck. I'm going to keep the pick out here. I'm on a higher gain setting in the high gain stage mode. Slightly darker tone on the Red Muck sounds like this. And now I'm going to run that into my Strymon Volante to add a little bit of a wetness to make this a nice soloing lead. I'm also going to switch back and forth between high and low gain stages so you can kind of hear it almost as like a boost in the middle of a solo. So anybody who watches my channel knows that I love using fuzz pedals mixed with octavers to make big fat synth sounds, and in particular I love muffs or anything based on a muff like the Red Muck because it's basically just a big flat square wave. So here's my Boss OC2 Octaver by itself. And now I'm going to run that into these settings on the Red Muck. Same thing, but now a way higher gain setting on the Red Muck. And just because we're in this big, fat, oversaturated synth land, I'm going to take this combo OC2 into the Red Muck and add two different kinds of modulation, one being a chorus from my Boss Dimension C DC2W, and one being just a classic phaser from an MXR Phase 90. So chorus first, phaser second. getting out of synthland for a little bit and going back to more traditional bass tones. However, I've left my Octaver on, except my dry signal is in there. So now instead of a pure fat subwave, it's more that traditional Octaver sound. It sounds like this. Super funky. Running that into a relatively kind of medium gain setting on the Red Muck. Going back to the tamer side of things here. Got a little bit of dry signal rolled in, low gain setting. I'm gonna do some palm muting. This is a really nice way to get kind of that vintage fuzz tone where it's not in your face, it's not brash, it's more just kind of warm and funky. So last up, let's max this sucker out and run it into a nice big delay on my Strymon Volante. So that is my demo of the Red Muck from Jam Pedals. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. It really does help me out, and I'll be back very shortly with more videos. Thank you so much for watching.